Waffle House. So we have this post called "My Boyfriend Keeps Getting into Fights with a Cook at Waffle House." Here's how it starts. I know this sounds really weird, but here it is. My boyfriend and I have been together for 3 years. We met and started dating when we were both in graduate school. That's actually a good note to have there. They have advanced past bachelor's degree. Mm-hmm. But I dropped out to go back to college. To pursue a different career. We are both finished now and live together, making a fairly nice combined income. Our income is relevant because we could afford to eat somewhere nice when we're out and about, but he always wants breakfast food.
Okay, real quick. First of all, let's not shame people that eat at Waffle House, because if you're a millionaire, you should still be going to Waffle House on a regular basis. It is the best night food. It's the best breakfast food.
It's drunk food.
It's great. Waffle House.
It's drunk food.
Waffle House is one of America's finest institutions.
She goes on to say, when he was a child, his dad couldn't stand eating breakfast type food in the afternoon or evening, so his mom would make him waffles/pancakes, eggs and bacon in the evening whenever his dad was busy or out of town. It's a wonderful and safe memory for him, and when he goes to his happy place, he says that's where he always goes. I like this memory because it's basically the grown-up version of when you're 8 years old and you say, when I'm an adult, I'm going to eat candy for dinner. Mm-hmm. And then, spoiler alert, I actually have done that many times.
It is kind of a weird move, though, for a dad to say, we don't eat breakfast food at dinner time.
He's just a rules guy.
That's kind of bizarre to me.
Yeah.
I don't like that. One time I was at a grocery store, and there's a person that was behind me in line. I was buying stuff to make breakfast for dinner, and the guy was like, Are you making breakfast? And I was like, yeah. He goes, my wife won't let me eat breakfast for dinner.
Damn.
And I felt so bad for the guy.
That's really sad. Yeah. That is really sad. All right, my boyfriend is an incredibly nice and caring person. I love these long diatribes where they just try to set up like, no guys, he's actually totally normal, and then drop the hammer. Mm-hmm. Like, my boyfriend is the sweetest, nicest person ever. Occasionally he likes to fuck his mom in front of me, but I love him otherwise.
Mm-hmm. I'm in the best relationship of my life. My boyfriend sometimes likes to bring guns out in the bedroom.
Yes.
But I figure we've all got our kinks.
My boyfriend is so in tune with my feelings, but every now and then he fakes like he's going to push me in front of oncoming traffic. I'm afraid he's going to kill me.
Listen, I've got such a great boyfriend. We're in the best relationship of all time. It's something I could only have dreamt about when I was a little girl. He owns this island called Little St. James, and he goes there a lot with some of his friends. He makes good money. So we're doing pretty well.
We have a beautiful house in Manhattan. Okay, so back to the story. He loves animals and is kind. This is really, she's doing the checklist of like, he's not a sociopath. He loves animals and is kind and gentle with every bug, bird, and pet that he comes across. Dude, you don't have to be gentle with every bug.
Yeah, with a bug?
Like a spider, I'm going to smash that spider.
A murder hornet?
Gonna fuck it up. He's almost always willing to turn the other cheek in social situations where somebody tries to insult him or get aggressive towards him, and usually winds up diffusing the situation and having a productive discussion about whatever the issue was, except at Waffle House. By the way, at last point, you don't get points for being an adult that doesn't get into fights.
It sounds like he doesn't get into fights a lot.
Right.
Like this is a common occurrence for him where he should get into a fight, where most people get into a fight, that he calmly talks his way out of.
Unfortunately, that's not like, you don't get to walk around like a Boy Scout with being like, see this badge? Someone took my parking spot at Whole Foods. I didn't fight him.
Uh-huh.
That's not how it works.
My boyfriend fights using logic and reason.
He likes to use his words and diffuse everything. Okay. Anytime we're out, he wants to go to the same goddamn Waffle House and get breakfast food. I'm not a big eater, so I used to not really care. I would just drink coffee and read my book while he enjoyed his food, which is an
weird.
Awesome visual. Just like, honey, let me get in my happy place.
Mm-hmm.
But that became impossible once he and this one cook started chirping at each other every time we went there. Boyfriend complained about his eggs one time because he likes them a little runny and they were served hard. The cook responded by giving him scrambled eggs. That's hilarious. When he brought it up again, the cook served him 2 hard-boiled eggs.
Funny.
Even funnier.
Very funny.
I think it was just part of the cook's shtick, which, who doesn't know a cook with a shtick?
You got to have one. If you're a short order cook, you know what? That's a feature, not a bug for that Waffle House, because that's the funny cook that fucks up your order and tells you. If you go to Waffle House and you expect to have your order 100% correct every single time, you, my friend, are not understanding the true charm of going to Waffle House. It's like, I want breakfast food. They serve you a breakfast food, and then you
kind
eat it.
of.
Yes.
It's kind of. Maybe. The cook responded by giving him scrambled eggs. When he brought it up again, the cook served him 2 hard-boiled eggs. I think it was just part of the cook's shtick, and it was kind of funny, to be honest. But my boyfriend wasn't able to laugh it off. When we left, he was in kind of a bad mood, but we didn't really talk about it. The next week, we're out getting some shopping done, and he wanted to go to Waffle House again. I suggested that we try out a different place, or at least a different Waffle House location, but he only wanted the same Waffle House, which, if you've been in the South, there's a Waffle House every other block.
And they look identical on the inside. That's the entire point of Waffle House. It's just a food station.
It's like being like, I want to go to this McDonald's and not that McDonald's. We went in and sat down, and once again, the same cook served his eggs wrong. My boyfriend sort of snapped at him that he wasn't interested in messing around and just wanted the correct eggs. The cook then served him a piece of toast with a hole cut out in the middle with a fried egg in it. That sounds delicious, by the way.
Toad in the hole, yeah.
Yeah. My boyfriend got really mad and threw the egg toast at the cook, which made the cook come around from behind the bar and throw it back at him. They ended up sort of wrestling, fighting, until my boyfriend was like, "This is bullshit," and walked out. Nobody got hurt, but the few other people in there were watching and laughing a bit.
Well, here's the thing. You don't want to get into it with a Waffle House cook, because Waffle House cooks know how to handle themselves. Most of their clientele is drunk. They're belligerent. It's late at night. You have to be able to fight if you're going to be. It's like the most dangerous, the most, I would say the most aggressive, like self-defense capable jobs in America. I would put Waffle House right up there with like Blackwater employees.
Someone replied, the first reply to this tweet was, I went to a job interview for Waffle House, and one of the questions was, can you fight?
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, have you been to a Waffle House at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Can you handle yourself?
You have to. You remember that story in the news like a year ago about a Waffle House cook that took somebody's AK-47 away from him? Or they disarmed a dude with an AR-15?
Very dangerous area.
That's day one training if you're a Waffle House cook.
All right, so back to the story. This is the crazy part. My boyfriend keeps going back and ordering eggs and getting into fistfights with the same cook. It's almost a ritual at this point. My boyfriend orders runny eggs, the cook serves him some other version of eggs, and then they beat the shit out of each other. I quit going with him after the second fight, but he kept going by himself. They're like Peter and the giant chicken from Family Guy. It's the weirdest thing. They physically fought like 6 or 7 times over this. I think they're actually friends.
Yeah, oh, they are.
Like, this is just guys horsing around.
Yes, this has become a friendship. If they weren't actually friends, he would not be allowed inside the Waffle House anymore. If you get into a fight, I'm not going to say if you get into a fight at a Waffle House, you're never welcome back because they would have no clients. If you get into a fight with the same person more than 4 times in a Waffle House, then at some point they'll be like, hey, can you just come back when he's not working?
This is sport. They're like, they probably text each other beforehand. You're like, you want to brawl today?
You want to go?
Yeah. Yeah, you want to go, buddy? I've tried to talk to him about it a few times, but he keeps saying it's a matter of principle. I've told him to talk to the manager or something like that, but he just waves me off. Apparently, the cook hasn't yet made him the correct runny eggs, but it's like he spends the week learning new ways of preparing eggs to piss my boyfriend off. I think he does exactly that.
I'm on Team Cook here. I want to get out in front of that.
I'm on team both their sides because he's right. It is a matter of principle.
But asking for an egg that's a little bit runny, that's a tough egg to make.
Not for a cook. Come on.
But if
for anyone, I know you could do it.
If you're a cook at a crowded Waffle House and you've got a million orders going on, making the perfectly runny egg is a difficult task. So
I'm
on
think this
Team
is
Cook.
Crowded. I think this is the middle of the day when Waffle House has no one.
If that's in fact correct, if this guy is going for a casual lunch at Waffle House.
Well, using from clues here, it's got to be a lunch or a dinner. And they were one day going out shopping, and then they went to Waffle House. I think it's just middle of the day. They're just fighting.
Waffle, yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that. You either go to a Waffle House at night for dinner, or you go early in the morning for like a late. Just the meal that you have at Waffle House is called Waffle House. It's not called breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
She said he does lunch and dinner there. All right. So then it finishes up. The thing is, we're getting married this summer. He's accepted a job in a new city, and it'll be easy for me to find work after the wedding. So we'll be moving away from his sworn enemy Waffle House guy. He hasn't really been out since quarantine started, but it wouldn't surprise me if that's the first place he goes when restaurants open back up for sitting customers. But my main worry is this strange vindictive side of him I've never seen before that leads him to fight the same guy every week. The violence itself is an issue for me, but the obsession over it almost bothers me more. Should I be worried that this side of him will come up later in our marriage? How do I get him to open up about this? Is this type of obsession a choice, or is it indicative of something deeper?
You need to cook him eggs, and you need to cook him the perfect runny egg and see if he has any desire to stop going to that Waffle House. Because if he decides to stop going, then it was about the eggs this whole time. If he keeps going back, it's just because they're bros and he misses. The human body craves contact, right? So he likes getting into a fight every now and again.
I honestly don't. I think this guy is actually the most well-adjusted adult I've ever heard, because he seems like a great guy, but having a grudge or a point of principle that you will not let up, it's like a bulldog with a tennis ball in his mouth. Sometimes guys just have to do that. Like sometimes you just have to beef silently or actually physically fight. Like I'm thinking about, I have this guy who lives in my building who on July 4th, I was using the grill, the community grill, and he came up and he moved my steaks over and put his own food on there without asking me. I scowl at that motherfucker every time I see him. I haven't said anything, but I have a grudge and I fucking hate him. And if I ever get in a point where like he lost his keys and I have a chance to let him in, I won't let him in. It's a passive grudge, but having a grudge and having a foe that you wake up in the morning, you're like, fuck that guy, it's healthy.
A grudge, not so much. A foe is very important. A rival. It's important for guys to have rivals. You are rivals against Grill Guy. I'm rivals with DK Metcalf. Hank's rivals with the English language and I guess chocolate milk somehow. Boners. Hank's
We were rivals, but not really anymore.
Good point. Hank actually declared he and PFT's rivalry over because PFT can't beat him.
I beat him literally 15 minutes ago.
But I figured you out. You can't. My defense is too good. My defense is too good.
You still can't get an erection.
Wow,
that's not true.
Okay, so that rivalry is over. But yes, having a rival. You see that? I mean, we're watching The Last Dance right now. MJ just has rivals. Like fake, real, doesn't matter. Having something to drive you every single day is healthy.
I do think that Waffle Houses are great places to get in fights.
Yeah.
It seems like everyone is, everyone that's at a Waffle House is ready that there might be a fight at any given time.
It's like a UFC crowd.
All the tables have rounded corners on them, so if you fall, you're probably not going to split your head open. It's like chess boxing.
So I'm with this guy. I think he's a maybe the actual fist fighting as an adult is a little much, but it actually doesn't sound like they're fist fighting. They're more wrestling, that's just kind of, you're basically doing, it's gentlemen's fighting, no face stuff.
Right. Everyone's home for dinner.
Right. No,
stay away from the groin.
No one has
fish
to say
hooking.
anything to their boss. Like, what happened to your face? You're just trying to wrestle each other in like feats of strength.
Do you think that there's an outside chance that this guy has a pre-existing relationship with the Waffle House cook in a way that he told him, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck with my fiance. Let's get into a fight and have a rivalry every time I come to your restaurant." And then he just never told his fiance. He's like pulling a big prank on her.
Well, it could that theory could make sense if he was like, I love my happy place, but what really bothers me is my fiance demands coming. So he found a way to go to his happy place where his fiance refuses to go.
You know what happened? They go in there the first time, and he's like, this is, as you say, my happy place. For me, that would be a place like Buffalo Wild Wings. You go there, you sit down, you're guaranteed a good time. She comes along. What does she do the first thing when they sit down? She opens up a book. She doesn't even try to enjoy Waffle House.
Disrespect.
And so he's like, you know what? I'm going to get into a fight with this guy until she leaves and demands to stop coming because I'm going to get my brain smothered, covered, and chunked, diced in front of her if that's what it takes to make her stop reading a book at a Waffle House.
Yeah, he pays this guy off. He tips him extra to be like, hey, let's just make sure that I can come here. And he's probably getting the best eggs every single time. He probably eats his runny eggs that are perfectly cooked, and then he says what's up to his cook friend, and he's like, hey, can you just maybe give me a noogie and give me one solid like punch in the liver so that I can go home with a couple scratches.
Yeah. I mean, I love this relationship. I love everything about it.
I love this guy. I really do think that having a point of principle, having something that you like, one of those standoffs that you're like, you know what? Today, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to let someone push me around.
When was the last time you got into a fight?
Fist fight?
Well, just like a fight, grappling, fist, that sort of thing.
December 15th.
There it is.
December
Hank.
15th. There you go, champ.
Not since college, I don't think. I'm trying to think. I don't think since college.
What about you, Hank?
December 15th.
Well, besides that, outside of a sanctioned event.
Probably college.
Yeah.
College. I got into a fight in Hong Kong, but it was like kind of a bro fight because the guy was wearing the same outfit that I was. He was shirtless, also wearing the same color shorts I was. And we just looked at each other, and you knew it was on. And then afterwards, we were friends. And there's no better feeling in the world.
That's not a fight. Than
getting into a fight with somebody, and then afterwards, like in the middle of the fight, you realize
that's a fun wrestle.
That you and I are more similar than we are different.
Was this when you were high on ecstasy?
This was when I was high on MDMA, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you might have just been kissing the dude.
Rolling balls.
You might have just been groping his face.
No, because it's on camera.
Okay.
So confirmed not kissing.
Confirmed fight, though?
Confirmed it was a wrestle.
Yeah. Also, isn't that like saying hello at a rugby game?
Pretty much, yeah.
Just
not
wrestling
a,
each
not
other?
a frat.
Yeah.
Just a couple rugby guys.
The fuck
yeah.
out of each other?
Yep.
All right, so this guy, Waffle House guy. Love him. I fucking love him.